So there needs to be a little sister anime where ACB is the little sister and save our progress.
No!
You mean Save Our Progress could be my Oni-chan?
No!
But there's the rivalry there, and there's the creative outlet. Like all of them, it's about podcasting. Oh, yes. Hello there, everybody. Lovely, lovely people. Welcome back to The Box, Annie Chatbox. As always, you're tuning in to episode 86 with me, Cammie, as your host today, and a full house of people that I reside with. I was going to say applicants. I think my mind is fuzzy because I voted today. Voting day! So, anyway, across an ocean is our gentlemanly Jonathan Joestar.
Hello! I am back from the States myself now. I was spending some...
I met in person, guys! He's amazing!
We've now all met each other. It's official.
I marked the Cassie's house on my Google Maps as ACB HQ just to make sure I can find it again anytime I wandered off by myself.
It's beautiful.
Yes. And one of the two amazing hosts that housed not only John, but also me for KomoriCon weekend includes the lovely, lovely Cassie.
Hello. Hello, hello. We miss you, John.
I miss you all too, actually.
Oh, yeah, I miss everybody. I especially miss my bestie of platonic sleepovers, and that is Craig.
What's up, everyone? How's it going?
I love that. Bestie of platonic sleepovers.
Oh, for a second I thought you were saying you love my phrase every time I respond in my name.
I mean, I guess that's fine too. I'm happy that you exist, Craig. I'm happy you're here.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you continue to breathe and live and provide us with entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
As we all are. So, if you also want to get in touch with us while we are living, breathing, and sources of entertainment, check out our social links, twitter.com/AnnieChatbox. Send us an email at anniechatmail@gmail.com. You can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, or SoundCloud. And if you are feeling charitable like our wonderful patrons, Sarah, Corpsey, and Carol, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/AnnieChatbox. And before I even proceed further, I'm going to get it this week. You should also check out our rival gaming lifestyle film all-encompassing podcast, Save Our Progress.
Hey, that's good.
Craig can tell you more. Just hit him up at anniechatmail@gmail.com.
Yeah, soundcloud.com/saveourprogress. What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
And what is up on our dashboard today? I have it together, guys. Oh my god. It is the seasonal splash tank. It's the start of ours for the fall 2018 season. Get excited. And so today we are going to have two hosts that are going to give impressions on 3 shows, and the other 2 hosts will give impressions on 2. Next week it will flip-flop, and that is how we are going to be able to encompass our impressions into 2 episodes. But we have a lot to get going. So starting us off on this lovely seasonal splash tank journey is Cassie. What do you have in store for us today?
Well, I have a lovely can of worms that I'm about to open because I'm talking about one of the most beloved shows of this season, and that is Seishun Buta Yarou wa Bunny Girl Senpai no Yume wo Minai. Also known as, I think, Rascal Dreams of Bunny Girl Senpai or something like that in English. Correct. I'm not sure. I think that's what it is in Crunchyroll, yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, jumping straight into the synopsis, puberty syndrome. Abnormal experiences rumored on the internet to be caused by sensitivity and instability during adolescence. This year, Sakuta Azuzagawa, I butchered that. I am so sorry. Asu Sagawa. There we go. A second-year student at a high school near Enoshima meets several girls that are experiencing this puberty syndrome. For instance, he meets a wild bunny girl in the library. She turns out to be an actress on hiatus, Mai Sakurajima, who is also his senior in the high school. For some reason, no one else can see this enchanting girl. How did she become invisible? ... question mark. As Sakuta searches for answers to help Mai, they spend more time together, and he eventually learns her hidden feelings. ... This is question mark. This is an unusual story that takes place in a town of bright skies and glistening seas where Sakuta encounters various intriguing girls. All right, so I'm just going to get right off the bat and say I don't get it. I don't get why everybody loves the shit out of this show, but I'm happy somebody does. It currently has an 8.47 on my anime list. Several people I know, in addition to a lot of very well-respected Anitubers and just people who talk about anime in general in the community, love the shit out of this show. But I'm just going to be blunt. I don't get it. To me, it seemed like a relatively not well animated show. It's done by Cloverworks, which they're always kind of hit and miss, but it's got a better shine than it normally does, but nothing stood out in that department. I found the music in the show to be very meh, and the opening to me was abysmally annoying. I skipped it after the first time. The animation is nice. The music itself was annoying. I couldn't get behind it. And then the story to me, I couldn't put a word on it for the first, couple episodes I watched of it. And then Cammy, beautiful articulate Cammy. I was talking to her, and I think that you're the person who finally helped me with the word pretentious.
Oh.
Because that's what the show is. It's very pretentious. It has that Bake Monogatari feel, and several people are referring to it as that, as a Bake Monogatari ripoff. And I can see why. It's got two very, nonchalant protagonists, but they don't have the chemistry of the two characters in Bake Monogatari that it starts out with. They seem very boring, very lackadaisical. Their banter back and forth to me. Some people find it very entertaining. To me, I found it lackluster and just boring. Also, they spend the first two episodes with these two characters kind of bantering back and forth to each other, giving each other a hard time, but they're starting to form this weird friendship. And if they had continued to do that, I may have latched onto it more, but then, I'm not even going to consider this a spoiler. It's episode 3. If you don't want episode 3 spoilers, turn your ears off for 30 seconds. But he declares his love for her in front of the entire school in episode 3.
Oh.
And it's just so out of nowhere. It's so rushed. And they're trying very hard to cram this metaphor or this lesson about society and how everybody tries to go with what's normal or what the hive mind thinks, what is popular, and nobody tries to go against the norm, which is a very interesting and cool topic for them to try and, process in an entertainment medium. And it's been tried before, and sometimes it's done well, and sometimes it's not done well at all. And in my opinion, it's not done well at all here. It's just pretentious and preachy, and I don't like it. So, unless anybody has some questions, I'm going to go ahead and sink Seishun Buta Yarou wa Bunny Girl Senpai no Yume wa Minai into the puddles of sweat she should probably be actually exuding from walking around in a bunny suit all day.
Oh, God. And those heels, man. Oh, how does she walk in those heels?
Oh, also the bunny girl outfit, the fact that it's in the fucking title is interesting because it never really appears again.
Mm-hmm.
It's brought into the first episode to kind of explain why she's doing what she's doing, which, to be fair, was kind of interesting, but she doesn't wear the bunny girl outfit again. So, I don't know why they focused on that so much. It's kind of a nitpick, but...
Yeah, I feel well, and actually, this is kind of a question for you, because I also have just heard a lot of positive praise for this show, and I really wasn't sold by episode 1. And I'm just curious, between episode 1 and then 2 and 3, is there any like grand shift, maybe even like outside of the part where he confesses his love to her, or does it stay pretty much in like the same mood and tone and all that jazz?
It basically stays in the same mood and tone, and I think that the other problem I have with it is that its attempts at comedy are very, I don't know, I found them kind of dumb. Like, for example, there is a scene, I believe it was in episode 2, or maybe it was the beginning of episode 3. I can't remember. He goes to go on a date with Mai, the main girl. And on the way there, he catches a child who's looking for her mom in the playground. And, of course, like, he's trying to help this kid. He asks her, hey, where's your mom? And, like, some girl in the area, like, automatically assumes he's a pedophile and attacks him, which that alone is a really annoying pet peeve of mine. Like, nobody does that. Like, just because some teenage boy's trying to help a kid doesn't mean you punch him in the face, and I don't understand why anime finds it funny. But she clocks him and knocks him on his ass, and when the little girl's like, no, he was just trying to help me, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, are you okay? And he's just like, oh, well, I think it's cracked now. And she's like, well, it's always been cracked. And it took me a couple minutes to realize, oh my god, they're making a butt crack joke. Wow. Really, really mature show. And then a couple minutes later, she's like, oh, pay me back. And she bends over and tells him to kick her back in the ass.
Weird.
Okay.
And then a cop sees them and they have to go to prison for like 5 seconds and explain, like, this is a misunderstanding. It was just stupid. Like, why is that funny? I don't know. It just isn't for me. Nothing about this show is for me. Our friend Pete, a friend of the podcast and somebody who's come on a couple of times, has told me that one of the things he really likes about the show is the banter between the main two characters, Mai and, I don't know, protagonist Kun. I don't know his name. I liked Mai, by the way. She was kind of fun. But Mai and protagonist Kun, he really likes the banter between them. So if you watch the show and you really enjoy how they talk to each other, you might get something out of this. But for me, I just felt like they were just being dry and pretentious.
Yeah, fair enough. I appreciate having that opinion because I do think like the main public is very much the opposite. So it's just good to have like some weigh-in opinions. Absolutely.
I think that at large, the big things people are latching onto are the characters' banter. I believe that an AniTuber said it's some of the most refreshing character interactions he's seen in a long time.
Dang.
And I don't agree. But I think that that's what people are seeing in it, is the relations between characters. And if that hits with you, great. But for me, it wasn't doing it. And I think that the other thing is the big metaphor big message they're trying to cram down your throat about social norms and accepting what everybody else thinks instead of, approaching things from a different way. I think a lot of other people like that too, but I also found that pretentious, so.
Gotcha. All right, 1 in the books, and then that'll move it over to me, and my first show that I'm going to talk about on this episode is called Kaze ga Tsuyoku Fuiteiru, or Run with the Wind, but I like saying the Japanese because Fuiteiru is really fun to say. So the synopsis for it goes, Kakeru, a former elite runner at a high school, is chased for stealing food. He is saved by a Kansei University student, Haiji, who is also a runner. Haiji persuades Kakeru to live in the old apartment I should have read this beforehand, Chikuseso, where he plans to team up with fellow residents to enter Hakone Ekiden Marathon, one of the most prominent university races in Japan. Kakeru soon finds out that all of the residents except for Haiji and himself are complete novices. Oh no! So it's a ragtag band of rascals coming together to make a track team. Okay. And this is animated by Production IG. You know them for other sports anime, including Haikyuu, very prolific, and Welcome to the Ballroom from last year. So I was so hyped for this show based off like a 30-second trailer when I was going through PVs. And then the more I read into it, like when I found out who some of the voice actors were and the fact that there was a character of color and like the author wrote Fune wo Amu, The Great Passage, which was a well-respected show back a couple years back, I was just really hyped for this to be good. And I really like it. And I know that some of my other podcast folks really like it.
Yeah.
So if I was to weigh in on what I think this show really sells for me, it's really just having a really like colorful cast of characters that all are just like, they bring something fun to the table. They're unique enough. I really want to learn more about them and like seeing their bonds and how they'll get together and just like do something and develop along the way. Like that's something that just I really, really love and resonates with me. And like each episode, I'm just kind of left thinking, oh man, who am I going to learn about more? And even characters that initially I was like, I need a little more from, like Kakeru, the lead, for example. They've already started doing a great job, like delving into his backstory. I thought when I saw the PV, I thought certain characters would be my favorite. But then the other male lead, Haiji, comes out in episode 2 and is just a fucking savage. I won't explain it, but he's a fucking savage. And I love him, and he's forever my favorite now. So there is that. The story is just a really good, like, not only shaping up to be sports anime, but just kind of like a slice of life character-driven story, which I love. The animation is overall pretty nice. I really like the music in the show as well. I think it's got really funky background pieces to it. Like, and there's a dog named Mira, and he does the little middle title card every episode, and I love him. And it's pretty obvious that this show absolutely swims at a breakneck speed, obviously, because that is for the Hakone Ekiden. But I did want to open it up because, like, Cassie, I know you started watching it about when I did, and John, you've seen some of it. If you wanted to give a bit of your own impressions on why you like this show so far.
I also watched it as well. I'm caught up.
Reggie. Yes.
Yep.
This show is like anime of the season for me right now. It's like the one I'm looking forward to most every week. I'm like, oh my god, the new Run with the Winds. Like when John was over, I'm like, listen, so you're gonna have to watch all these episodes so I can watch episode 4. And then we watched episode 5, I believe, while you were here too. I can't remember. But all I know is that we're having a great time with it. I love this show.
It's a very good cast. Very good cast.
They're so fun. And like they're good. I also really like how so far Musa, who is a like exchange student from Africa, like he's not just made to be comedic relief. He actually comes out and speaks in episode 2 about prejudice, and I was like, "Go, my boy, you do it!" Like, it's just really good so far.
I also just love how much of a sweetheart he is.
He's so yes.
One other tidbit about this show that I think is so refreshing and interesting too is that it's based off a novel.
Yep.
Not a visual novel, but a legit, like, you open it, there's no pictures novel.
Yeah.
And I think that is really fucking cool.
On top of that, the fact that it's not in high school, y'all, it's in college.
College
Kids.
Hey guys, remember that one time when you robbed a convenience store while you were in college because you blew all of your funds on pachinko because you have no money and life is hard being a starving college? Everybody have that moment?
That's even another thing. The dorm itself and like the settings feel so authentic and lived in, and I love the heck out of it. I love how messy their dorm is and like how different all their rooms are. Like, there's just a lot of care put into, and probably gotten straight from the novel, but that gets put into production. And it's just like, you can tell it's a well cared for series. And I'm just so excited to see more of it.
I'm excited it's 2 core as well.
Yeah, we're not going to get, but I'd die if they tried to push this into like 13 episodes.
Have you guys actually looked up the run? Because it's going to be interesting to see how they sort this out if they do get to the Hakone Ekiden, which, let's be honest, they probably are.
Yeah.
Because the run itself is separated into sections that each runner has to do. And, like, each section has its own, like, specialty. Like, oh, our fastest runner will do this. Our one with the most endurance will do this.
Oh, that's pretty rad.
Yeah. So I'm like, I wonder what each like member is gonna do and like how they're gonna manage everything. I'm like so stoked. If they don't actually get to the Ekiden, I'm gonna feel fucking robbed. Cause I'm like theory crafting over here.
Who do you think's gonna be where? Where the fuck's Prince gonna go?
If they don't make it to the Ekiden, let's be real, Haiji's gonna murder everybody in their sleep. Like,
That's the ending. He just kills everyone.
Jesus.
You failed me for the last time.
I think we're all like into seiyus to a degree, but for those who aren't really into seiyus, feel free to disregard this fact. But another reason I think that I love Haiji is because he's voiced by Toshiyuki Toyanaga, who played one Yuri Katsuki in Yuri on Ice and did a fabulous job. So I just love seeing him in more stuff as well.
Nice.
And varied too.
They're so different.
They're very different characters.
Which is fun, which is really, really fun. So I think you can assume, yes, we are all telling you, like, please go watch this show. It's great, if not one of the best this season.
It would be a shame if something happened to you otherwise.
Oh, it'd be a shame if I had to kick you out. You have all this manga. It's so
Remember
hard to
how I got
move.
you this job, Musa? Remember we're friends, Musa? Oh, God.
Friends for life.
Listen, if you run, you can pick up chicks, though. Just saying.
Okay. Speaking of, Craig, you are up next on our doc.
Okay, first up on the chopping block here is the show called Between the Sky and the Sea, aka Sora to Umi no Aida. Studios TMS Entertainment. They've done all the Lupin the Third stuff, you know, part 4, part 5, with the woman called Pijiko Mine, as well as Megalobox. I passed that show a few seasons back. We'll get to that show eventually. Synopsis goes as such. In the future, in Onomichi, Hiroshima, fish disappear from the sea around the world, and only whales live in the ocean. The Ministry of Fishery decides to set up giant experimental universe fish tanks in space. The Onomichi Universe Fishery Union is established and begins to train space fishermen. Female fishermen are in demand due to the strengthening of an equal employment law for men and women. 6 new female space fishermen are selected, and the story centers on supporting their growth. I basically chose this when I was looking through previews. I was like, listen, this looks cute. It looks like kind of like a Voyage sort of thing. I wouldn't say it gave me Place Further sort of vibes, but I'm like, man, maybe this will be pretty cool, like a ragtag team of girls actually fulfilling their dream sort of thing. Boy, howdy, was I wrong. By the way, I want to let you know this is based on a gacha game. So there's gacha bullshit in this game, in this anime. There's sexism in this anime as well.
Wait, there's what?
Before we get to the sexism,
Yeah.
how is there gacha in the anime? You gotta approach each thing one thing at a time, because I'm confused now.
Let's unpack this a little bit. So we have our girl, main protagonist, Kun, named Haru. She says, I was selected to be a space fisherman lady because it's my dream to give my grandma fish and sushi and shit like that. And I'm like, you go, girl. Has she read the instruction manual? No! Fuck no, she hasn't. She hasn't read jack about this. So she goes up to the platform and, she meets her other teammates. Namino, which is the bitchy character, and essentially the foil of her character, Makiko, which is essentially just saying, hey, you should probably calm down. And she's like, okay, we have a third. Let's go and go into space and fish. Here's where the gacha comes in. After they literally jettison off of Earth into a aquatic planet, I shit you not, next to the moon, they go to a planet and they drive around in submarines. The gacha element is they take their cell phone, they download an app, they open the app, and then, much akin to a Fate Grand Order, you can select your deity or your god.
Oh my god.
So think Odin or Zeus or Thor or Japanese deities. So the two other competent fisher ladies pick like high class gods, and our protagonist Kun Haru is like, I'm gonna pick the cute one, the rabbit. The rabbit can talk too, by the way. Just want to let you know that. And the rabbit's just like, yeah, you got this. Sexism comes into play by the fact that they have the girls' team and the boys' team. And the boys' team talks down to the girl team a lot. The men, also at command, talks down to the lady in charge of the female squad. This continues over the next 3 episodes, and what I think is pretty bad, where the girls fail their operation mission in episode 1. In episode 2, the lady in charge of them says, you need to get your shit together and fucking train to be a team. And the guys are like, they can't do this. They're not good enough. Let's see them catch 3 fish in 10 minutes or some bullshit like that. And then by the end of it, I was just like, no, they're saved by, in episode 3, they're saved by a girl from America who, much like Haru, our protagonist, doesn't know what the fuck she's doing, but innately is able to fucking miracle up the win for him. So that's episode 3. If you hadn't gathered by now, this fucking sinks into the goddamn depths of the ocean to be eaten by a megalodon, because it's not good. I thought, like, I will say the character designs are cute, and like that's really all it has going for it. Animation quality is fine. Music, I don't remember jack about. I watched all this and kind of mind wiped it, not gonna lie to you. So yeah, the sexism and just like the premise of, oh, you gotta select a deity on your phone. Oh wait, no, okay. The deities help you in the sense of they give your sub projectiles and missiles and defensive barrier magics. And I'm like, well, this is a fucking weird concept. Okay.
Okay, can I just say that it's wild hearing you talk about the gacha element, because I don't remember shit about that being explained in the trailer at all.
Oh yeah, it's so weird because like I thought it was weird when I saw the episode, and then it was only when I talked about this and tried to sales pitch all of these shows from the fall season to Paul and Pete from Cyber Progress. Paul's like, that sounds like a gacha game. He looks into it. He's like, yeah, that's definitely a gacha game in Japan. I'm like, that makes sense? Fucking summon your things on your smartphone. You got to download the app in order to be a better fisher lady. And I don't know. Look, if it's a metric of quality to say anything, I think my anime list has like it at a 4.9 out of 10. So yeah, it's don't waste your time. Yeah, 9 or 4.89 to be specific.
Yikes.
Out of 10. So yes.
So maybe we'll go ahead and mind wipe that show as well. John, what do you have that can help us with said mind wiping process?
Try and lighten the mood, actually. I was going to talk about this one second, but you know what? Zombieland Saga.
Ah, yes!
No, you gotta say it right. It's Zombieland Saga!
Is that how, I mean, Saga. I thought you were just going to Mamoru Miyano and just yell, Saga!
I was doing the opening.
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Mamoru Miyano, he has way too much fun in his role. And I love it. But yeah, anywho, Studio Mappa. What have they done? Yuri on Ice, Kakegurui, Banana Fish.
Banana
Fish. They've done a lot of good stuff. The synopsis goes, a typical morning. The usual music. Their normal lives. The peace these 7 girls experience will suddenly be destroyed by the living dead. Zombies. A reality that they never wanted to be part of. An amazing and terrifying zombie world. They all share one wish. We want to live. These girls will struggle through this saga in order to achieve a miracle.
There you go.
So, when it came to the the bottle episodes where I was given this, I explained that there was like no information about this series available, just the title and a very cryptic PV that had nothing but some Japanese writing that was basically saying original project by MAPPA. And that's all we had. And I was like, you know what, I'm up for a really cool zombie survival anime. That'll be cool, because, like, I really enjoyed High School of the Dead and Gakkou Garashi, so I'll be up for something like that again. This is not what I signed up for, basically, but I love it anyway. It gives zero fucks, and it's hilarious, and I don't know how much I want to say for those who haven't been watching this already, if you somehow haven't been spoiled on it. But yeah, I'm loving this series. It swims. I don't know how much else I want to say about it.
I was about to say, like, for those who probably don't know anything about it, go in blind. I will say, on that note, dub and sub, both fantastic. I've watched the English equivalent, or the counterpart to Mamoru Miyano's character in, obviously, Funimation dub. Really fucking good. He sells it. He's got the energy. The jokes hit with him as well. It's a comedy, and it's pretty fucking good.
I'm so excited. I didn't know the dub was out, but I was curious about that.
Yeah.
First, I was actually curious about how they were going to handle his character as well, but I need to give the dub a listen.
All I need to say is that the new meme in Cammy and Get's household is to randomly say, "Music, come on!" Just randomly.
Me and Cass have been just saying, nice bird. To each other.
I need to get to that. I'm only on episode 3, but I'm excited.
I need to get to that episode.
You're good.
You'll get to.
Yes. But yeah, I'm super hyped.
Can you do the music come on thing again?
Oh, the music come on thing? Let's see.
Do it again.
Music, come on!
I need that as a ringtone. I need
good.
that as my ringtone. It's so
we'll
good.
We'll say that, and then we'll say, like, Densetsu Yamanatai! And then we'll say just all the fucking shit. It's just, he's a meme in our house. Like...
We should record all of us saying all these lines and make it as, like, a ringtone packet for our Patreon.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
We'll get on that.
Go.
I go.
Yokata.
That's not good. You do it good. Do it again. No, that's good. You're good. No. Do it again.
Y'all! Okay. All right. We're about to go into some, like, black hell shit we couldn't get out of. But yeah, I think this is another one that universally, like, we could all say, like, yeah, please check it out. It's fun.
Yeah.
We're having fun with it.
All right. That rounds us back out to you, Cassie.
Oh boy! I'm so excited!
You really sound it.
I mean, this will be fun to talk about. My second one that I'm going to talk about is Release the Spyce.
Ooh, that was like ASMR tones.
God, I did my fucking best. So, Release the Spyce is a show that is done by Studio Les Deuces. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what else they have done off the top of my head.
Like, you're just like, I don't know.
I literally don't know off the top of my head. I'm like panicking, moving stuff around my phone. Apparently, they also worked on Fate Grand Order, First Order.
That was decently animated. I don't think they were the only ones that did that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they probably just helped with it. It looks like they also did that Love is Only 10 Centimeters Apart show. And they also did something called, or at least worked on something called Classroom Crisis.
I've heard of that. It exists.
I did not give the same amount of love to Bunny Girl Senpai, so maybe I'll announce some Cloverwork stuff at the end of the episode. But anyway, as for Release the Spyce, let's go ahead and dive right into the synopsis, shall we? So this series is about a girl named Momo who attends high school at the city of Sorosaki. However, she is secretly a member of Suki Kaze, an intelligence agency that protects people. As a new member of the agency, can't talk today. She works alongside her colleagues, including her senior Yuki and friends. Together, they work to establish peace in the city. So, this show is really great in this season. And I say that because I'm watching a lot of shows like Run with the Wind that are like, serious or like JoJo, which is way too not serious. And this just falls right in between. It's kind of like Zombieland Saga, and that it's a nice little palate cleanser at the end of the day. It's not a show that a lot of people are talking about. It's got like a 6.76 on my anime list right now. It's a really stupid show, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I'm going to swim it. There we go.
Fair enough.
Also, I'm not going to lie, a lot of that input came also in from our other guest host, Dominic, who at this point is almost a mainstay anyway. But I'm having them help me with my seasonal picks. So from now on, when, I pick stuff, most likely something that they want to watch be on my list, and then we'll probably come to a determination on what my stuff that will swim will be. And Dominic, out of all my picks, was really in love with Release the Spyce. So we're having fun watching it together. I think everybody else will have fun watching it too. It's spies in high school. They wear funny outfits. It's like totally Spies Anime Edition. It's just fun.
Okay.
They even have the little gadgets that look like normal things, but they're not. Like here's this hand cream that turns you invisible.
Snazzy.
A sillier version of Princess Principal.
Yeah, and you know what's weird? I'm actually kind of enjoying it more than Princess Principal.
Fair enough.
Because this show doesn't take itself seriously, and I think that that's what I really like. Because most of the time, I tend to like drama or well-written stories when it comes to anime. But when I can enjoy a dumb show, a dumb popcorn show, is when it doesn't try and take itself seriously. When it relishes in how dumb it is. And that's what Release the Spyce is.
Fair enough. I feel like I should pick it up and start watching it.
It's pretty fun. It's a nice little palate cleanser at the end of the day.
Awesome. Awesome. Speaking of palate cleansers, which one am I going to talk about next? One of these I definitely need to rinse the bad taste out of my mouth. So yeah, let's just knock it out. All right, guys.
All right.
I'm here today to talk to you about a little show called Dakaretai Otoko, Ichi ni Odosarete Imasu, or Dakaichi is the short term, and in English it's something along the lines of I'm being harassed by like the sexiest man in the nation or something like that.
God.
I'm being harassed by the sexiest man of the year. That's what it's called. All right.
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong.
So Craig did such a marvelous reading of the synopsis in our the bottle episode. So I'm gonna have to try to keep up. I don't think I'll do as well.
I am so excited for this.
Ooh, shabadoo.
And make it so your body is unable to forget mine. Saijo Takato's 5-year reign as the most huggable number one has been snatched. Stealing his thunder is the newbie actor with a 3-year debut, Azumaya. Towards the stuffy, hostile Takato, Azumaya's sincere, air quotes, sparkling smile starts to become effective. Even as Takato sets his alert level on max, Azumaya catches Takato in his shameful drunken state and uses it to blackmail him. In exchange for Azumaya's silence, Azumaya states, "Please, let me hold you. Embrace me. Who was the most huggable number one? What the heck is he saying?" Includes a large quantity of other high-suspense erotic stories. All right, thanks, my anime list. So Dakaichi is animated by Cloverworks. Hey, they're doing a couple shows, and it's And no offense to them, but they kind of broke me with Persona 5. I don't think they should be stretching their talents into 2 shows.
Oh, cool! You can talk about Cloverworks and what they've done. Perfect. I was just saving it for Cammy.
Oh, Jesus Christ,
They,
Cloverworks.
like, long story short, they absolutely botched my problematic fave Pancake Son in this one scene in Persona 5, so I have a bit of a grudge against them. But regardless, actually, this show isn't terribly animated, especially for a show of its nature. Young, like, high school Cammy definitely delved into some yaoi pieces, including the more prolific, like, Junjo Romantica sort of series. And we've come a long way from, like, the really, really bad yaoi hands and the square chins and stuff. And the art style on this is actually kind of polished. It does some weird things, like, in this case, I'm just gonna drop into degenerate mode as I start to talk about this. The Uge is the older guy, but whenever it's during, like, sexy times, he literally looks like de-aged, like 10 years, and I'm just like, this is weird. The Seme guy has, like, kind of the broad shoulders, awkwardness, and sometimes does have big hands, but, like, that's, you're just gonna get that in this kind of show. So let's see here. Like I said, I used to enjoy this kind of show, but I think as I've gotten older and hopefully a little more tasteful in my choices of media, I've grown tired of a lot of the tropes that are very present in this type of show, and definitely in this show. My biggest issue with this show is using dubcon, for those non-degenerates out there, dubious consent, as a source of fan service. I am really, really, like, a lot of scenes in this show were just ruined by it being so completely, like, it was just so intentional. Like, look, they delve into a lot of fun fetishy shit in here. You want like public, like exhibitionism, like groping on a bus. Oh yeah, we get that. I am fine if we want to have public exhibitionism, groping on a bus, but why can't they both be into it? Why does the guy have to keep saying stop and the other guy doesn't stop? Like, it's so, I can't do it. It's creepy, it's bad, and it's like, look, you're dangling this fine line that the two of them actually love each other, but then you just have to go back to this dubcon bullshit that makes everything just, like, have a sense of insincerity and creepiness, and it's not doing the show or the genre any favors, which is definitely a shame. There is some meta comedy in here that I really appreciate. The rest of my co-hosts could probably attest to, I did some Snapchat reactions while watching the show, and episode 3 had a parody of a, like, really well-known anime, and I Snapchatted everybody dying because it was really funny, and there are, like, very small little moments like that do make the show not, like, absolutely terrible to watch. But I'm like, if you really want to spend your time watching anime, watching a yaoi anime, there are better options out there. So this is definitely going to sink. I'm trying to think of something it can sink in other than cum. Someone help me out here. Okay, it sinks in cum.
We have an explicit rating. We can use that occasionally.
Me doing it and not you. That's a rarity.
Whoa! I came to have a good time, and I feel so personally attacked
it's an achievement to make our rating quota. You do patronage for all of us. I will say it's been very fun talking to our friend Suki about this show and what an absolute mess it is. So, I don't know, maybe if you're drunk and you just want to laugh at something terrible, go check it out. But if you want a really good shonenai piece of anime, please watch the movie Dokusei. It does so many things right that a lot of like yaoi anime do wrong. That's it. That's my shtick. And so we roll back around. Craig, please send us back to less not safe for work waters.
Well, it depends on your definition, because the show I'm talking about, the studio definitely knows how to appeal to certain demographics of the target audience. Today I'm going to be talking about the show SSSS.Gridman, which the SSS stands for Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. This is
You missed an S in there. It's SSSS.
SS dot
There's
Gridman.
4. There's 4 S's, not 3.
Oh my god, woman. Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. The 4 S's. Gridman. This is Trigger's new production along with Subaraya Productions. They're the Ultraman guys. Gridman, obviously based on Gridman, the Hyper Agent. So, again, TV or Trigger, you know what they've done. Kill la Kill, they've done Little Witch Academia. If you haven't known what they've done, then you've been living under a rock. They're actually kind of a big deal. They're the Skynex guys. Synopsis of this little gem goes as such. You're not alone. Whenever, forever. Yuta Hibiki is a first-year student in high school living in Sutsujidai. One day he wakes up without his memories. Yuta later meets the hyper agent Gridman, who is inside an old computer. Gridman tells him to fulfill his purpose. Yuta's quest to understand the meaning behind these words and to find his memories begins. While all of this is sudden, Yuta has helpful assistance from his classmates, Sho Utsumi, Glasses-kun, and Rika Takarada, Thai-kun, and Akane Shinjo, but ... Those peaceful days are destroyed mercilessly by a monster that suddenly appears, known as the Kaiju, ladies and gentlemen. Why I chose this? Trigger. They're kind of a big deal, and I'm a Toku fanboy, and I like Ultraman and the Kamen Riders and the Super Sentais and all that sort of shit. So when I saw, hey, the PVs of this are like them doing tokusatsu in an anime and kind of like paying homage to an older show from like the 90s in an anime form, I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. The character designs really stand out. They pop. Gridman really looks fucking cool in the first 3 episodes. You kind of get like his introduction and how he fights the kaiju. There's a little bit of CG, but it looks fluid. It's not janky as shit. It doesn't seem off-putting. And by the end of episode 3, you get introduced to the armaments. He gets agents along with Gridman to kind of help him out, Samurai Caliber and others as well. It should be noted that I am not watching this alone. I think everyone in our friend group is fucking watching this goddamn show. So if any of you all have anything else to add to this, please say so now.
It really tickled me. It was like, why did I choose this? Trigger.
I mean,
it's like enough said.
They're kind of a big deal.
They are kind of a big deal. Just one thing I wanted to add to this was the kaiju and Gridman are CG, but like the way that the kaiju are animated is like they're a person in a kaiju suit. Like they did mocap of someone in a kaiju suit, like old old Godzilla movies or whatever, and it actually really adds to the flavor of the series. I really enjoy that. It's like, how to put it? It's like, technically it's bad animation, but in a way that is actually really good animation. They actually put care into making them look like they're in a man in a suit to be a homage to the roots of this franchise. So,
Cass, you have anything to add?
I do. One thing is a personal thing because I actually got attacked on Twitter recently because I was told that one of the only reasons I'm enjoying this show is because I'm a Trigger fangirl. So I'm just going to throw it out there that while Trigger having its name on this is one reason that I'm really enjoying it, that's not the main reason. I think that Trigger is a great studio and they do a lot of really cool and innovative stuff, including Gridman, including but not limited to Gridman. But there's a lot of other really great stuff going on in the shows. The character designs are unique and different. I really like how the eyes look. I also really like that there is, albeit this might be a small spoiler, but I won't say who it is, there is a female antagonist, and I like that. I like female antagonists. They're fun. I also really enjoy how much they're having fun playing homage to this really old fucking show that I have no idea what it is. So it's fun. It's a fun show, and I think it's very well animated. I think it reminds me of like Saturday morning cartoons that I used to watch when I was a kid. And to that Twitter user, fuck you. There we go. We're moving on.
Yeah, whoever and I'm sure our listeners know because our listeners are considerate people. Like, you don't fucking assume someone's reason for enjoying anime, and who are you to judge? Like, that's just messed up. I'm sorry that you went through that.
Yeah, it might have caught our attention initially because Trigger, but we're not going to watch a bad show just because Trigger's behind it. Like, we're enjoying it. It is a good series. It's fun, and the action is really enjoyable to watch. Got plenty of reasons to enjoy the series. Like, fuck off.
The only thing I would warn about is I do believe that the first episode is a bit slow.
Yeah, the first half is anyway.
Yeah, so I'd recommend trying to at least get through to the second episode, and the end of the first episode ends on a pretty explosive kind of encounter, as it were. But it has fun. There is fan service in the show, but it's not... What's the word for it? Like, egregious?
Yeah.
It's there, but it's an anime. You move on.
Yeah. I'm pleasantly surprised, and it's fun. I mean, I'm very curious to see how it will all shake out in the grand scheme of things. I've been keeping up with this weekly, and yeah, excited to watch more. So obviously, it's swims.
Yippee! I need to watch it. It's definitely on my list. I just haven't checked it out yet. But
I think I need to catch up, but.
I think my other favorite thing about watching Gridman is we watch it weekly with our friend Zach and also Dominic. So me, Dominic, and Zach all watch it together. And every time there's a new transformation with Gridman, Dominic just goes, oh, and gives like all of these audible reactions. And I just get to hear Zach also like reacting to stuff. And it's just so fun to enjoy a show with people like that. I think it's a fun experience.
Love their Gatai sequences today. Not that I want to talk, I love the Gatai sequences too.
They're pretty epic. I like them.
All right, John, what do you have next for us?
Okay, so, my next series is RErideD. I don't know how to pronounce it. RErideD. Tokigoe no Derrida, or RErideD, Derrida Who Leapt Through Time. Studio is Geek Toys. What have they done? This. This seems to be their first work, according to Mal, anyway. So, I only just found out about that, so I'm going to be a little more forgiving of them. But we'll get to that. Anyway, synopsis is... The year is 2050. A young engineer named Derrida Yivan became famous thanks to his contribution to the development of the autonomous machine DZ. At REbuild, the manufacturing company founded by his father. One day, Derrida and his colleague Nathan discover a flaw in the DZs and try to warn their boss, but are ignored. Although Derrida and Nathan are aware of the danger, they reluctantly decide to put off taking any measures, and instead go to Nathan's daughter's Mage's birthday party. The next day, after enjoying a peaceful day, Derrida and Nathan are suddenly attacked by unknown forces. At the end of the escape, Derrida falls into a cold sleep machine, and 10 years later, he wakes up to discover a devastated world in the middle of a war. While Derrida is attacked by a group of out-of-control DZs, he almost gives up, but he recalls Nathan's last words, "Take care of Mage." Despite the harsh fate that has fallen upon him, Derrida sets off to seek Mage. So, yeah. One thing about this series is like, okay, this is gonna be an important item later. Let's shove it in your face to make sure you know that it's gonna be an important item later. And then, sure enough, like, oh hey, here's that important item from later. There is a lot of leap of logic about this, like, oh hey, this error, this bug in the system for the DZs is gonna be an important thing. Let's talk about that later and go to a birthday party. Oh, fuck's sake. And just some of it, the storytelling, especially in episode 1, is so jarring, and episode 1 is not a good episode. The CG is just horrendous to look at in episode 1. In episode 2, it gets better. 2 and 3. And I will admit, it's gotten me intrigued enough to keep watching it myself, but I am not going to subject anyone else to this.
John, you're so nice to anime. You're like, I'm not going to subject anyone else to this pain, but I'm going to keep going. Is this some weird kink of yours?
Oh my god! What is this episode?
It's so weird, too, because, like, as soon as RErideD, the first 2 episodes, if I recall correctly, premiered along with Double Decker early on Crunchyroll, and reviewers and the press got a hold of it, and they're like, yo, this show is hot garbage. So for John to be like, yo, I'm gonna keep watching it.
It's gotten me intrigued, because, like, they're like building up to this, oh, there's gonna be some time travel thing, and I'm calling it now. He's gonna go back to the past, fix his fucking mistake, and everything's gonna be hunky-dory after that, and happy ending, happy ever after. I'm calling it now, because that's what they're, like, setting up from episode 1. There's going to be time travel. But, like, they keep on leaving off on these really intriguing moments that are like, okay, so what's gonna happen here? And it's like, okay, now I want to know. But, come on, show. I got a feeling I'm not going to finish watching this, but I'm going to continue watching for as long as I can stand it, because it's got me intrigued enough. But I do recognize this is a hot garbage series, and I'm not going to subject anyone else to it.
Okay.
I
am just too forgiving myself.
What did you sink it into? I think I missed that
part. Oh,
part.
yeah, I haven't actually mentioned that. So, one of the characters has a gun that shoots at this yellow goopy stuff that crystallizes to, like, break the robots. And yeah, I'm gonna sink it into that.
All right.
It's going to sink into this yellow goopy stuff that crystallizes to keep it away from anyone else.
Oh god. I'm really glad you asked that, Cassie, because I was about to be like, I don't know if he said that already. I was in this in-depth conversation with Cassie about kinks, and I just got
Good lord.
But that being said, back to steering us again. Now, Cassie, you're on your last impression round for this episode.
Speaking of kinks,
Oh.
so, all right, so I think me and Cammie both got our trash type show of the season. Her loving her sometimes dubiously consent-filled, but sometimes good yaoi baity shows, if not yaoi completely, and me loving my siscon incest bullshit.
Yes.
Both problematic in their own ways, but sometimes producing quality shows. It happens. And dear God, did we both get the short end of the stick this fucking season? Holy fuck. So, I'm gonna...
You're just trying to chase that fever high that is Eramaga Sensei, aren't you? Since
I'm never going to get... It's like crack cocaine. It's never going to be as good as that highest high. Like, I'm just so upset.
Does it match the seminal quality benchmark that is Kiss X Sis?
Listen, Kiss X Sis is...
its own ball of wax.
Yeah.
it's its own thing. Listen. Anyway, so I'm going to be talking about Ore ga suki nano wa Imouto dakedo Imouto janai, also known as My Sister, My Writer, which is what you can find it on Crunchyroll if God knows why you want to watch it. This it has two studios listed. One is Magia Doraigler, which has this listed as its only work. But they also have Studio NAZ or NAZ listed, and it looks like they worked on Craig's favorite, Hajimete no Gal. They also, it looks like they worked on Dramatical Murder, which I've heard is just a great adaptation. And I guess they also helped out on one of the Natsume Yujincho specials.
Oh,
so they seem to be people who mostly like I can't say this for certain, but their list seems like either they were mainstays or they helped out.
Yeah.
So this one, it looks like they're working with Studio Magia Doraigler. I can't pronounce this. And dear God, does it look like a first production. But we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis. And that is, Suzuka Nagami is a beautiful third-year middle school student who has excellent grades and is the student council president. Of course she is. She wrote a novel about a little sister who dotes on her older brother, and the novel wins a light novel award. After they discuss the matter, Yu is the one who debuts as a proxy light novel author instead of Suzuka, under the pen name Chiaki Tawano. Okay, so synopsis, or story-wise, it's pretty run-of-the-mill, but it's also kind of got this interesting thing where you've got the little sister who's not really into light novels, who kind of writes a light novel on the whim and wins an award. And then, of course, her novel is just her writing about her being in love with her brother. That's why it's so authentic and why everybody likes it so much.
Of course.
Now, her brother, her Bibi Baka, Oni-chan, doesn't catch on to this, but is also a light novel artist, writer, but he never debuts. So his little sister, who doesn't want to be known as a light novelist, asks if he can take her place as like, I wrote this piece of literature. And he agrees, okay, I'll help you out until I can write a debuting light novel of my own. Which is fair. Whatever. But it just divulges into a bunch of fan service-y bullshit. The last episode basically was just a bunch of girls trying on stupidly seductive outfits.
Oh my.
And the main dramatical part of the episode was that she has to write another heroine in her novel because that's what her, what are they called?
Editor.
Her editor, recommends her to do. But she doesn't want to write in a rival for her own Oni-chan in her work that she's writing for her own personal enjoyment. So her brother has to teach her the power of writing about what you want to write about, and he loves the little sister in her novel because of how authentic and adorable she is, and of course she takes it as, "Aw, Oni-chan loves me! Yay!"
Okay.
Yay!
Okay.
There's also other standout characters, such as Heigo double peace sign.
Yes.
What?
Represent.
She is very, very, very serious about you saying the Heigo part of her name.
Mm-hmm.
She emphasizes that if you just call her double peace sign, it's not as effective. She draws porn.
Yeah.
And that's her thing. That's her shtick. His editor, who would be Suzuka's editor, but she doesn't know that Suzuka wrote it, so she interacts with you. The protagonist is constantly making sexual advances towards him to improve his light novel. And then the rival character is, of course, in love with him as well, and she thinks that he's the best light novel author ever, so she stalks him and wants to learn all about him. The cast is really stupid and tropey. The animation is some of the worst animation I have seen in a long time. It is terrible. Like, you could take screenshots and get some nightmare fuel kind of terrible, and they're not trying for that kind of thing. People's bodies are disjointed or off model, and it looks creepy. And it's not fun. There's nothing redeeming about this. Even the tropey Big Brother bullshit that normally I kind of like is really stupid. I was talking to my friend Pete earlier today about this, because we both are weirdly into this kind of trash, and he made a comment that was like, this is not the trash we deserve. Like, we deserve better trash. And then he wrote, make trash anime great again, and it made me laugh a lot. So there's that. The show is sinking into the tears of my disappointment. Pretty sure I've used that before, but I'm actually really sad. I really wanted this to be good.
Cass, before we continue on, real quick, I got your abridged thoughts while you were watching episode 3 while we were all hanging out earlier this afternoon. Is this show cringy, or is it creepy? Does it get really lewd? Like, or is it just horribly animated?
It's all of those things.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's cringy in its writing. Its delivery of its lines is absolutely terrible. It's extremely fan servicey. They spent like 5 to 10 minutes on girls dressing up in outfits just to, quote unquote, jog his creative juices. There's a character named Ahegao double peace sign.
To jog his creative, in air quote, juices.
Okay.
Oh, and of course, like, all the 2 other girls are dressing up in all of these different outfits. But no, the one that he finds the most endearing is when his sister gets jealous and puts on the, like, gym clothes outfit.
Oh, God, with, like, the short shorts or whatever. The bloomers.
Yeah, like the short bloomers and the t-shirt, but then she put on some high knee socks, and he gets all like blushy and stuff, and they're like, oh, well, we lost, she wins, he's obviously transfixed with his sister. And it's like, this is just weird.
Yikes, man.
Like, I can normally just kind of, I don't know why, graze over that kind of shit, but it's just weird and cringy and badly animated, and I regret watching every episode. I should have lied. I should have came here today and said I watched all 3 episodes and just watched episode 1. It wouldn't have made any difference. Nobody would have known.
But Cass, you wouldn't have known about the bloomers and the gym outfit if you hadn't watched all 3 episodes.
It's gone, guys. It's dead. It's dead, Jim. Just let it die. Just let it die.
Dead and gone. Dead.
Go watch Kiss Exis.
Yeah, sure, go watch Kiss Exis if you're into that kind of weird shit. Which I am, but if you're into that kind of weird shit, sure. Or watch Arrow Manga Sensei, or if that's too much for you, there are actually endearing, like, actually family-oriented brother-sister shows out there. I can't think of any out off the top of my head, but they aren't incesty. I don't know. That'd be another conversation for another day.
All I'm gonna say is the Sunohara and Mei arc in Clannad After Story, I cry every time.
Oh god, that one's really good, yeah.
Yeah. But yes. Okay, then trekking on through. My last show that I will be talking about is Kishuku Gakkou no Juliet, or Boarding School Juliet. The story takes place at Grigio Academy boarding school, where students come from 2 rivaling countries, and they are known as the Black Dogs and the White Cats. Persia and Inozuka are leaders of their respective dorms, but they are secretly in love with each other. Now they must keep their relationship a secret from other dorm mates while trying to avoid trouble. Boarding School Juliet is animated by Leiden Films. I want to say, I'm going to pull the tab up right now, but I believe they've done, what was it? Did they do Kuzuno Honkai? No, they did do Koito Uso, which, wow, I know Cassie loved that show. Another show that Cassie actually loved that they did is Udan no Kuni no Kini do Kemari, or Poco's Udon World. So, yeah, good. That was a real good show. And so, yeah, this is like a very, very, very loose take on Romeo and Juliet. And, you know, I was curious how far they were going to take it, and judging by the PV, I figured it would be a loose adaptation for a couple of reasons. It takes place in, like, a modern high school anime setting. Also, as Cassie mentioned on our, like, Picks bottle episode, there already has been a, like, dedicated Romeo and Juliet anime adaptation in Romeo X Juliet. So it's definitely like the Romeo X Juliet thing is just it's just kind of like a little aesthetic thing here that they choose to go with, like the fated lover sort of thing, and you've got their last names, so their first names, so it's Romeo Inozuka and Juliet Persia are their names, and it, to me, just plays out very much like a standard high school rom-com sort of deal. Like, I've heard people do enjoy it and find it really fun, and I think that is totally, like, justified, and I can understand why. There is a great confession scene in this anime. I won't, like, spoil anything about it, but it was just, like, hilarious and epic and way better than most anime or what you would find in the original Romeo and Juliet play. So take that as you will. But, you know, there's a lot of, like, archetypes that I see. There are a lot of cliches that I see. And it's one of those shows at this point that I'm like, yeah, this is like popcorn and I could watch it, but I'm old and I'm jaded and it feels like a waste of my time. So just for me personally and for us on the podcast, it is going to sink into a field of rose petals. But if you're looking for something lighthearted, funny, and has a bit of romance to it, you know, definitely check it out. It's not bad. It's just, yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
You said you're old and jaded. Congratulations, you are now officially a critic.
Ugh, yeah. How long have we been at this? Like 2 years?
Yeah, essentially. Be 3 in January. Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yo. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. There are some other good things about it. There's a good female lead. Like, she's pretty strong and has some good, like, character motivations and stuff. It's on Amazon, and it's worth checking out, at least, I think. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say other than that.
So does it sink then?
Yeah,
what does
it sinks into rose petals because it's got a bunch of rose petals.
That sounds kind of pleasant.
Yeah. The opening's actually kind of fun. It might be worth checking out. They do a lot of fun things with like kind of, for anyone who knows AMVs and like video editing, there's like masking tricks in there and like a bunch of roses, and it's fun. So yeah, a very pleasant sync because it's not too bad of a show. But that being said, actually, when we were talking, I did manage to pull up the list of shows that we have passed this episode, because that was my last round, our last go through on this episode. And someone correct me or add to this if I'm wrong, but we have passed Kaze ga Tsuyoku no Fuiteiru, or Run with the Wind. We've passed Zombieland Saga. We have passed Release the Spyce and SSSS.Gridman.
I appreciate you going through the effort of making sure you got every single
I just
S.
like the emphasis. You're like, key,
S,
key,
S,
key.
S, S.
Smash that keyboard. S, 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 period. Gridman.
Oh, I mean, it's probably only deserving of such epic delivery. So
Gridman.
that's exciting, guys. We have 4 shows that are going to line up on our to-watch list, our never-ending to-watch list. So, that being
We're crushing a lot so far.
We are. Stay tuned next week. Craig and John are going to talk about 3 shows while Cassie and I do our last 2. And before I close us out, Craig, would you like to plug a certain rival podcast one more time?
Oh, okay, sure. Basically, Saber Progress, a variety show podcast extraordinaire upon the internet. It's the sister podcast / anime rival podcast that me, Zach, Pete, and Paul are part of. SoundCloud.com/Saber Progress. Last week, we talked all about Halloween sort of like spooky thrills in video games and like entertainment in that sort of medium. We talked a little bit about Castlevania season 2 on Netflix. I recommend that, by the way. It's really fucking morbid and really like violent, but it's actually really well done, really well animated.
I've been meaning to watch the Castlevania anime on Netflix.
You know what this world needs? I just thought about it. So we are drowning with a sister anime that can't stand up to the likes of Eromanga Sensei. So there needs to be a little sister anime where ACB is the little sister and save our progress.
No.
You mean Save Our Progress could be my Oni-chan?
No.
But there's the rivalry there, and there's the creative outlet. Like all of them, it's about podcasting. Oh, yes.
But Oni-chan?
I'm a part of both podcasts. How does that work?
You have, like, identity disorder.
Shit!
Oh, my God.
Identity crisis.
I need to go think about my life, my choices.
I need to write a fan fiction.
No!
So, this has been Annie Chatbox episode 86. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're off to go delve into some interesting creative endeavors of choice, and we all hope that you have an excellent night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Oyasumi.
Save me!
Go. Go.
Yokatta,
Go. Okay, go.
Yokatta.
Yokatta.